Here we've got the Seahawks running duo from 11 personnel packaged with a bubble. Nothing too exciting about that, except they've added one little wrinkle that really helps this play, and I think that as teams study this Seahawks offense, and since they won the Super Bowl, everybody's going to be taking a look, more and more offenses are going to add this wrinkle to their arsenal. I'm Andrew Weidinger. I was a member of coaching staffs in the NFL for 11 seasons. In this video, we're going to take a look at 2 reps of the Seahawks running duo in this divisional round matchup against the Rams. Let's start with the view from behind. So we know Njigba is going to motion out. And so they've got 3 receivers on the field. Cooper Kupp lined up out wide out there. It's an 11 personnel sub run. And in sub runs, you've got 6 dedicated blockers in the box. Your 5 offensive linemen and your tight end. Shaheed here is going to be responsible for whoever is most dangerous from the secondary, the corner, or the safety. And the blocking on duo would shake out like this. They want double teams on the interior. Tight end has the defensive end on the play side. Hits downhill, A gap, out. Well, you'll see as they motion Njigba out, the safety starts creeping down, backer kicks over. They're turning this into a 7-man box, but with a good disguise. And the safety is going to be this B-gap player right here. So how do you manage that? How do you try to buy your numbers back? Well, one solution could be to re-ID. Instead of this double team working to this backer spot, now they take it to that safety spot in the box. That would mean this double team would have to change. But then you get a problem here on the front side. Now you've got to figure out who's going to block a big linebacker and who's going to block a big edge player between the tight end and a little fast receiver. Again, not so hot for the offense, not a recipe to have consistent success. So that option is out right here. The other option they could use is they could bring Shaheed across, and that would draw this guy out of the box. He would go block him. They'd be back to 6-on-6 in the box. The only problem with that is since this run hits downhill with the potential to bounce to the outside, if this corner doesn't back off, and he's still close to the line of scrimmage like this, well, you've kind of lost your bounce. The running back is going to be seeing all that color outside, and you're going to lose a good chunk of the field because the back is going to say, hey, I have to hit this thing downhill, and I've got space from this A-gap to basically the tight end. So again, not a great solution, but it is potentially a solution. So the Seahawks have come up with a pretty ingenious answer to this problem. And so take a look here at Sam Darnold. He's going to use pump action, selling as if he's throwing the bubble before he hands it off. And Kenneth Walker is going to use draw steps, shuffle, and then hit it downhill. And they're going to pair that with an offensive line that's just blocking duo. They've changed nothing up front, but the way this draw action fits up with duo blocking, it's not an issue. You really can't use draw blocking on something like power. There's a lot of timing and spacing that's involved in those plays, but right here on duo, this looks pretty damn good. So this pump action right now is going to handle that 7th element in the box. You'll see, gets him to react. The other advantage they gain right here, not only do they get rid of the 7th man, and he's no longer an issue, well, shoot, this guy can't come screaming downhill and bring these guys off the double team early in the down. He reacts out with Sam Darnold, and all of a sudden, instead of him reacting downhill against the run, he's reacting laterally to a potential throw. Now, they get split a little bit here on the double. You can see Walker is hitting this thing downhill, feels like that gap's going to open before this guy does show up, and instead of it hitting a gap out, he gets into a little bit of a traffic jam right here, feels some space to his left, goes full-fledged Ricky Bobby slingshot technique right there on number 67, throws himself forward for a 5-yard gain. Now, a 5-yard gain, right? That doesn't go on the highlight reel, but if you got 5 yards every single time you ran the ball, I promise you, you would never lose a football game ever. So that pump action and the draw footwork, a great way to get a 7-man box and turn it back into a 6-man box without doing a whole lot. But what happens if your 7th element says, hey, there's no chance you're going to affect me? I'm blitzing. A 6-man box turning into a 7-man box, and there's no chance that you can affect that guy and bait him out of it. Well, that's when you throw the bubble. The numbers advantage we just lost in the run game, well, we just gained it on the perimeter. You can see we've got 2-on-1. Cooper Kupp responsible for the corner. Throw that thing to Njigba. Great with the ball in his hands out in space. This is a good job by Kupp. He's got the 1-yard rule. He knows that if that's the line of scrimmage, he can't block anywhere past here. So he's still clean. He's got his feet right there. He does have to absorb this a little bit because he can't attack. He will get a penalty if he does. Njigba does the rest. Really good design and really well executed by the Seahawks.